So there's a lot of acronyms in the early stage ecosystem, whether that be kind of tech or VC related. There's one of them already. Let's see how many acronyms we can try and bust. So VC, venture capitalist. Venture capitalists typically are investing cash that's not their own money into businesses. So they raise that from their investors, and then they typically charge a fee for kind of fulfilling that service, and they invest that into the businesses. You've got, not quite an acronym, but you've got angel investors. That's slightly different. So angels, it usually is their own money that they're directly investing into the businesses that we work with. You've got SaaS, so software as a service. In its simplest form, businesses that are selling software, but they're selling licenses to that software, typically charged on a recurring contract, either monthly or annually. Sticking on that theme, we've got MRR, so monthly recurring revenue. So ultimately for those businesses that are selling software licenses, how much is that bringing in on a monthly basis? We've got annual recurring revenue, which does what, or ARR, annual recurring revenue, which does what it says on the tin, same as MRR, but obviously for a 12-month period. You've got NRR, which is net revenue retention. So how much of your revenue has churned, and then how much have you increased through expansion. So typically VCs are looking for businesses that are doing at least 100, if not 110% of net revenue retention. Churn, which we've just talked about, again, churn can be measured in two ways. One is the amount your revenue has decreased from the customers that were using the platform 12 months ago, or the amount of people that were using the platform or companies that were using the platform 12 months ago that are no longer. You've got customer acquisition costs, so how much does it, or CAC, so how much does it cost you to acquire a new customer? So that would be like your marketing spend, your direct sales team for that given transaction. It could be any kind of BAU marketing you do, you could apportion that to CAC. It'll be commission. So essentially, in its simplest terms, what is the cost of acquiring a new customer? You've got ACV, which gets really complex. So one could be average contract value. So typically if you've got 20 clients that, let's say, are paying everything from 10 to 100 grand, 10 grand to 100 grand, what's the average? What's your kind of typical customer look like? Some people also use ACV as actual contract value. So if you've got a 3-year contract, that will account for the full 3 years instead of the first. So if that comes up in any conversations, make sure you fact check that one. You've got pre-seed. Now this will mean different things to different people, but broadly a business that has built a product, shipped a product, but is very, very early into the revenue or even pre-revenue. Typically in the UK, certainly in the North, that's businesses raising anything from 50k to probably top end about $1 million. Seed, built a product, shipped a product, probably got some early sales, more often than not founder-led sales at that point, about 100 to 200 grand of recurring revenue at the lower end, raising kind of anything from probably $500,000 to $3 million. Series A, so businesses that have built product, shipped a product, and have got a repeatable go-to-market engine, so the kind of fuel on the fire investment round where an investor knows if they pour more cash into the top that their business can effectively deploy that and continue to scale at least nationally, if not internationally. Check size is roughly 3 million to probably about 10 million. Different types of investors out there. So you've got EIS, which can be applicable for angel investors and some VC investors as well. So it's a tax efficient scheme which the government's put in place to encourage more capital going back into the early stage ecosystem, so enterprise investment scheme. You've then got SEIS, which is the seed enterprise investment scheme. So again, another tax efficient program from the government that's slightly more tax beneficial than your EIS, and that's ordinarily for the first 250k of equity investments into eligible businesses to really kind of help those people get off the ground. Investment committee, or IC, is another one that gets talked about a lot. So for the institutional kind of VC investors, not angels, but for VCs, usually a collection of people within that business that get together to discuss an opportunity and ultimately give a kind of yes or no as to whether it can go forward. If you're in the north, you've got Northern Powerhouse Investment Fund, or NPIF, so regional fund currently managed by Protura Ventures, again trying to invest into that early stage ecosystem. Investment mandate, again that's kind of one that comes up a couple of times, so various funds will have a different either mandate or sometimes interchange with thesis, which are quite similar. So investment mandate is essentially what they've committed to their investors, the type of deals that they're going to invest into, so that could be stage, geography, location, a range of other things, could be anything really. And then thesis is not necessarily what you've always committed to, but kind of the type of deals that you're looking for as a fund. So thesis could be, we invest into B2B software deals that are trying to raise 100k to 250k that are based in the north of England, as an example. I think I'm running out there. That's probably close to the list.